Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome to another episode of Michael's Backyard Marina. We got a good one for you today. As you guys have seen in a couple of my videos, I like to shoot my revolvers, and I've really gotten into the 22 revolvers and a couple of 22 pistols as of late too. But they're fun to shoot. They're the only thing right now that's economical to shoot. I don't know if the prices are ever going to come back down to, I don't know, reasonableVille. Right now they're in outrageous land. But, prices I think will come down some. But right now, if you're going to go buy something today in this world economy and the way things are going, you might want to buy it now because it's only going to go up from here. Material, fuel prices, all the consumer goods and just everything in the world is just going to go up because we're in a crazy climb right now. And I don't think it's ever going to come back down. I don't think we're ever going to see $2.50 gas again. How could we? But with that being said, why I shoot the 22s is because they're the cheapest thing you can shoot, still have fun with the shooting sport. I like to zero in on targets. I like to shoot targets. I like to score on my targets to see how good of a score I can shoot. But sometimes reactionary targets are fun. Okay, let's be honest. Reactionary targets are way more fun than shooting paper. I have a shooting tree that I built several years ago. And here's a picture of it. I'll sit that in here right now. And this shooting tree was one that I built two of, one for myself and one for a friend of mine. He bought the materials and I welded it together. The material that we use for the flags, they are AR 500 steel, so they can take a pretty good shot. AR 500 at a specific distance is good for magnum loads. Just to give you an example, this is some good guidelines to go by. Here's a steel target. It's AR 500 steel. There is also AR 400 steel that you could use for shooting as well, but you don't want to shoot rifle or magnum rounds. This AR 500 is the toughest steel they've got for this particular purpose. It says here pistol use, for instance, place target no closer than 10 yards. Magnum calibers should be used at 25 plus yards. Why? Because there's a lot more bang there, and when it hits and splatters, you don't want any of that coming back at you. Rifle use. Place target no closer than 100 yards. Place the target further away as the muzzle velocity increases. The velocity of the bullet will deteriorate the target more than the weight. High velocity rounds, 3,000 plus feet per second muzzle velocity, or magnum calibers should only be used at longer ranges of 200 yards or more. Always check for damage when setting up for rifle. Move target back if damage occurs. Now, you don't want to end up putting a dip or dish or start making a curled shape out of this at all, or any steel you're shooting at, because it can bring the bullet right back at you. So, just wanted to throw that out there for you. And believe it or not, you can pick these up relatively. I mean, this piece here, what is that, a 10-inch circle? Let me get my 10-inch circle measure out here. Your boy's got a good eye. 10-inch. About $34, $35. I picked these up at Walmart, believe it or not. Now, some of you probably just say, oh, if you buy stuff at Walmart, I'm going to unsubscribe. That's fine. Do what you need to do. So what I did is I went on eBay, boom, and I found these flags that are like my big shooting tree. What we're going to do here, let's get right down to it. We're going to build a shooting tree. And I'm going to show you how I build my shooting trees and how I make them adjustable. And I'm going to put all the whys behind why I do what I do with these things. This one here is only a 3/8 thick. No, that's only 1/4 inch. Yeah, 1/4 inch, I'm pretty sure. Yep, 1/4 inch. Still, it's AR 500, but I'm only going to be shooting 22 round ammo at this, or 22 Magnum at a 1/4 inch. That there's 3/8 thick. That handles 45s. Obviously, Magnum rifles at a certain distance. The one I have out there that I showed you in the previous picture, I've shot 45, 9mm, 44 mag, whatever you can think of, I've shot at it. Hundreds, actually probably thousands of rounds have made contact with that target. Zero damage. If you do it right, you won't have any problem. Now, the closest we placed that one was at, I believe, 20 to 25 yards. And it's fun because you and a buddy, or your spouse, your significant other, whatever, can shoot and compete with one another. For instance, just to give you an idea, you can go out there and shoot. Each of you have 10 rounds in your gun. And when you've spent 10 rounds, and each of you spent 10 rounds, whoever has the most flags on their side loses. So you can do all kinds of different you can do timed things. You can do, you got 30 seconds to dispense as many rounds as you can downrange, and whoever has the most flags left on their side loses. Makes sense? So, but I wanted to make one that's smaller, so I can shoot at 10, 15 yards. This guy here is only just right at 2-inch diameter. Now guys, you might think that 10 yards or 15 yards, 2 inches is pretty small. It is, but the shooting game is all about accuracy, correct? So if you've got that little thing painted white out there at 15 yards, and if you can rock it back and forth and do it consistently, you're just sharpening up your shooting game. Well, like I said, I ordered 6 of these flags. They came as a kit. I'm going to get you up a little closer here so you can see what these things look like. This came with 12 of these little guys right here. And what these are designed to do is to fit into a piece of angle iron. Once they're into a piece of angle iron, it'll sit like that and it can go back and forth when you hit it. And it comes with 2 per. Reason it has 2 is it helps stabilize things. So when you have 2 of them in there, this thing will work more like a bearing and glide a little easier for you back and forth with impact. So let's get busy. I'm going to show you what I bought for materials and how we're going to fabricate this. Now what we have here is a piece of 1/8 inch by 1 inch by 3 foot piece of angle iron I bought at the local hardware store. Now if you buy this at the hardware store, it's not cheap. There's no doubt about it. Did I buy a big enough piece? Well, we'll find out here in just a minute. I'm questioning my decision here. Maybe I put it together a different way and I don't have to worry about it. Do something like that. I've got these 2 clamped in place right now, just with some C-clamps. And you can see how this would easily float when impacted from one side to the other. I think that'll work. What I did is I used some little magnets. Let me show you those. You can buy these pretty cheap at Harbor Freight. You can buy them online. They're little magnet right angles, so you can actually stick them to something and bring it right up to whatever you're welding. Hold it in place while you clamp it or tack it. Then you can pull this out of the way, finish welding it, and you get some nice square corners and all that fun stuff, 90-degree angles, all that kind of happy things. So that looks like that'll work. Now this angle iron could have been easily, well these are, this could have been, would have been, should have been, this could have been made out of 1.5 inch angle iron. I might see if I have a piece laying around. Well, as luck would have it, I happen to have a piece of 1.5 inch. I couldn't believe it. It's the only piece I had sitting out back, getting rusty behind the shop here. Yeah, and it's actually 1 3/4 inches. If you measure it this way, 1 3/4 inches, which gives you about 1 1/4 inches on the inside, which is perfectly what I need. And this is, what was the thickness on this stuff? This is 3/16, so even heavier duty. So what I've done here, just to kind of clue you in, I'm starting a little down below the top. Don't want this at the very top. I've put a parallel, 1 1/4 inch parallel. That's the spacing I want here between these. And I've used my magnets here to hold it straight. And then I can use my little square here to come on the outside of the parallel to make sure I'm not sitting like this too far out of whack. Make sense? Let's go ahead and tack weld this together. I'll drag the old welder out and we'll get after it. All right, we got the old welder set up here. We're gonna give her a tack and then we'll do a little quick test. with that tack welded in place, that seems to be about right. If I'm staring straight at this angle, I'm looking at the flag pretty decent. And I can hit that pretty hard. And it seems to work pretty good. Now the secret behind making this thing work properly is, first of all, getting it all square like I have. And having it so that it actually comes past center and kind of lands on your weld there. Actually not landing on your weld would be ideal. Just lands against the angle iron, which is what I'll have to do. But you can make adjustments, and I'm going to explain how you can do that. You can see that I have this tilted slightly forward. And the reason for that is, so when it goes over center, it'll fall back down against the stop. That's important. The other important thing is you can actually, depending on how close you are or how far away you are and how much impact, you can actually have these things hit so hard that when you hit them, they bounce back. If it's doing that, you just take and tilt this forward more. What I'm going to do down here on the base is I'll have it so I can put a bend, not a bend, but a bolt, so I can hinge it. So my base is going to be down on the bottom, then I'll be able to put a hinge on there that I can lock down with a bolt. So if I'm getting too much bounce back, as you can see, this angle works pretty good, but you see what I did there when you hit it? That can happen. So to prevent that from happening, you can tilt that a little bit more. So then when it happens, it takes more energy. See how I can bounce that pretty hard? I got to hit that pretty hard to make it bounce back. The cool part is you're also deflecting, the angle is still deflecting down. The more you tilt it, the more deflection you get down, which is fine. When it hits that bullet, it takes more energy off of it sooner. And then the other reason you're using angle up here is when the bullet hits this area, it can deflect and not come back at you as well. You also want to be very mindful when you set one of these things up, the 45-degree angle away from this area, that is downrange and clear as well. Now the bullets will definitely lose some speed, lose some impact, lose some force, but can still be very, 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 very dangerous. All right, I like the way that's working. I'm going to go ahead and finish tacking up the rest of these, and then I'll weld them all in, and then I'll show you how I'm going to do the pivot on the bottom and how I'll build my base as well. I'm going to turn the welder off for a second. The other thing you want to be mindful of when you're putting these in here is you want to be able to possibly replace them if you need be. So you want to make sure there's enough room between them that you can get one of them, get this out. So you can, when this is assembled, when you need to replace it, you can get this out. Make sense? I thought it would. It looks like that distance is about 3 1/4 inches. Now just to make life easy and slick, because I just cut me a block that's 3 1/4 inches, so I can set that there, place my magnet back in here, because these are all just flame cut. They're not exactly perfectly square and perfect in every way, but when I do this, everything looks good. That'll play. All right, now I'm just going to tack this on the inside edges this go around. I'm going to slide this out of the way because I don't want this weld. I ended up putting a little weld here. I'm going to grind that out because I want this to sit right flat onto here and hit flatly against the angle iron. Quick little lesson learned. I'll turn the welder back on and get back after it now. And they'll just rinse and repeat all the way down the row. All right, right now I just have this standing in a vise, but now you can see what we're creating. It's all welded up. I didn't bore you with the welding part, but yeah, somebody's shooting, bam, bam, bam. This side's losing. Bam, bam, bam. It's a tie. Anyway, you get the idea. Pretty slick. Now I'm going to take these, now that I know this works. It's time to paint these all nice and white. And then I'll finish, then I'm going to weld up the base and show you what I'm going to do to make the base nice and sturdy and adjustable. Alrighty, I got a piece of 1.25 inches, 3 pieces sandwiched together like this. I'm going to drill a pivot hole in here. And what that allows me to do is put a bolt through it, weld another one side, so that's fixed, I don't have to worry about that. And then I can put a bolt in here and I can tighten it down, loosen it up, and whatnot for adjusting. So let's go ahead and do that now. We carefully center punched and aligned and gonna hit this dead center, you know, measured 17 times on this, and then we're just gonna go down in here and we're just gonna poke this hole right dead center with a 3/8 drill bit. One hole precision accurately drilled beyond belief. Okay, I got my pieces angle iron on the floor here, pointy sides up. You might ask why pointy side up. Well, when the bullet deflects downward, it's going to hit an angle or a point and just deflect off at a 45 degree angle toward the ground. I now have this tacked very well, this tacked pretty good. Now I'm going to set my other piece that we built in it. If I measured everything correctly, it should fit. Fits very tight, which that is fine. Now I'm going to put my level on here. Let's see if I can hold her level while I tack it. I need 4 more hands here. Some of you might be asking, what kind of paint am I using on here? It's called What I Had. I don't know if you've heard of it. I think it's imported from Jamaica, maybe the Virgin Islands, I don't know. Just a good old can of What I Had paint. It's definitely a fancy painting system I'm using here, because this is what you saw first was a base coat. And now we got a What I Had top coat. Oh. Oh my. Look at that green. Look at that green. That looks so good. There's the tree painted. I'll flip it over and paint the bottom side that sits on the ground. And then over here, hard to see them, but there they are. All the flags painted white. All right, folks, here we are at the range. Behind me over here, you can see the shooting tree. It's hard to see because I did paint it zombie green with white flags. And you see where I have my target set up. That's usually about 10 to 12 yards. Somewhere in that range, depending on where you're standing. And so I've got that at about 12 yards, actually, where the flag's gonna be. We've got a gun that's sighted in already. And as you can see here, looking at these little targets, these are 3-inch circles that I shoot at. I know you're a long ways away, but just trust me, 3-inch circles. I'll bring you in closer here in a minute. These are 2-inch circles. So I can usually put 9 out of 10 shots on the 3-inch, maybe about 7 out of 10 on the 2-inch. Let's see how I do. You're gonna be up closer than I'm gonna be because you're on the camera. All right, range is hot. Let's see if I can talk these flags into flipping around. We'll see how my angle adjustment is, and we'll go from there. That's provided I can hit the darn things. Let's go top right first, eh? All right, that's 10 rounds. Let's see how the target's held up. All right, as we can see, on the first one, wow, that about jumped out of there, didn't it? So did that one. They're all jumping up out of the bottom ring. We can see where I hit that one. See where I hit that one. Nice shot placement so far. Ooh. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of the 6 actually hit the 2-inch circle. This one hit right here, still moved it. But what you saw there is it wasn't, I think I need to angle it down some more. Now by design, I have welded a piece of rod onto the nut and stuff, so I should be able to loosen this up. We'll give her some more angle, retighten. That's giving me quite a bit more angle. That'll deflect the bullet down even harder. Take a little more steam off the paddles. Let's put 10 more rounds in and see what we can do. All right, let's try this again. Let's run her through. Sun's starting to come out, starting to get a little steamy out. Top right first. All right, not too unhappy about that. We hit right there once, right here, closing in on the 2-inch. Hit this twice, hit this twice, hit this twice, hit this twice. I think what I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna come around back and show you what I'm gonna probably do to modify this, and it'll make it all 100%. Probably what I should have done is put this up just a little bit higher. But no worries. I can actually, there's plenty of room down here I can drill and put a little tiny cotter pin on it, and possibly even a flat washer that'll surround that. And I can just, that way, there's no way it can jump out. If it doesn't jump out or jump up, because what it was doing is it would hit and do like that, and then it doesn't move as freely. So I think that's an easy fix. I'm pretty happy with that. There you guys go. You learned from me a little bit. Maybe you can do yours a little better. Maybe put these a little closer together. I think it'd work pretty good. But overall, pretty easy fix. I can take this out, drill it on my drill press, stick it right back in. Very serviceable, if you will. All right, I think I'm gonna do that, and we'll be right back here with you after I get these drilled out. You guys might be asking yourself, Michael, how are you gonna drill that AR-500? Because it's tough, and it's not hard, but it will work harden very fast. You start to hear your drill bit squeak just a little bit, stop. You just work harden the surface, and you dulled your bit. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna go ahead and heat this up to glowing red and let this cool off slowly, and that will anneal this portion. Which you gotta understand, this isn't subjected to the bullet, this over here is, so we should be okay. Let's see. I tried drilling one, I got halfway through, she squealed on me and went through 4 more drill bits trying to get down through there, would not go. So now, and then I heated it up cherry red, and then I was able to get the drill bit through it. So I'm gonna try it again here. Now I'm heating them up glowing red. I'm gonna let them cool down very slowly, just at the regular room temperature, and then I'll drill them. That way my drill bit won't get hot and lose all its temper. I cannot believe that paint is still on there, glowing red underneath the paint. Now that it's annealed, it's still tough, but it'll drill. without ruining my bit. This is my second hole with this bit. Now that I have all the holes drilled in it, I can slide the old flag in there, stick ourselves a cotter pin through it, like such. I'm going to go ahead and cut that cotter pin off so it don't bind up on anything. And then we'll spread it out a little bit. There we go. Now, she's trapped. Let's do that to the other 5 and we'll be ready to go. Alrighty, we have this thing all cotter pinned up. I think we got the flaws fixed. You guys, I could have easily not shown you the errors in this thing, but what would I gain by that? Making myself try to look better than I am? Nope. Can't do that. Wouldn't be right. So let's shoot 10 more rounds at this thing. And I'm just offhand shooting here, guys. I'm not on a bag or anything. Let's see how we can do. Start off top left. Let's see how many I can hit. I only got 10 rounds in here. I'm going to show you all 10. Missed. Well, that bounced back. Well, that wasn't so good, now was it? As you saw, some of them still bounced back. It all depends on where you hit them. You hit them out on the tip, as you can see on that top left one there, or the left-hand side top one, they bounce really hard. You hit them on the inside, there's less energy, less leverage. But that's the sport of it, that's the fun of it. Sometimes they do bounce back, and sometimes that's a disadvantage. That bottom right one was elusive. Did you guys see it moving? It was an elusive creaser. Took me, what, 4 shots to get that bad boy. That was terrible. Well, that did a wonderful fix on it. I could actually tilt this forward just a little bit more. But, I don't know. None of these popped out. Everything's held in place really nice now. It's working as I want it to. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is I call it a zombie shooting tree because it's lime green. That's the only reason. The nice thing about these, if these targets get a little bit too much white paint going, just touch them right up. You're back in the game again. Especially if you're wanting to see where you're hitting. You know, you can see I'm pretty close on bam bam. Every time I hit this, I don't know where I hit. Yeah, I hit that one there. I don't know where I hit this. I must not have ever hit this one on this other side down here, but that's okay. Had a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun building it. This thing will last for years to come, as long as you don't abuse it. You know, don't be shooting 44 Magnum rifle at something that's designed for 22s. Magnum rifle, Magnum handgun, or Magnum rifle, same thing. If you want to destroy it, shoot something that's not supposed to be shot at it, and it'll destroy it. But as you can see, you probably can't see it very well, but you can see where the splatter hits here, goes off that way, possibly away from me. Same way here, if it hits here, it's going away from me because I'm directly in front. But so far, I've done pretty well. See a few bullet splatters down there on the base from where it hit. It went down. Always make sure you have a safe backdrop behind you. Behind me here is a pond with a big hill that if I miss this, it's going straight into the bank. So it's pretty safe. You don't want a bullet to get away from you. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. I had fun making this. I had fun showing and teaching you guys what I like to do for fun. Get out there and have some fun, folks. Shoot safe, be safe. This is Michael saying, if it ain't broke, fix it till it is. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Catch you on the next video.